Hey, it's going to be a big year for Republicans, right? They say they're going to take the House and the Senate back. And that would be pretty spectacular. And things are getting down to the wire in Pennsylvania. The Republican primary is coming up on Tuesday. Major candidates vying for the nomination. Of course, you know that President Trump has endorsed Dr. Oz. News lately about Kathy Barnett. She has emerged as a real contender here. She's in second place. And those who admire her say she's just like Trump, you know? I mean, she's passionate and she's got such a story. And, you know, the more I look at her, I realize, yeah, she's just like Trump, except she lacks the talent, the intellect, the success, the record, and the genius of Trump. This person is a mystery. They'd be taking a very, very big risk on Kathy Barnett. This, I believe the people I'm talking to, actually, that this is the Democrats' dream nominee for the Republican Party. Now, they like her story, which could very well be a fake. You don't realize this about her. She says she's a conservative. I'm not buying it. Actually, she looks like a race-baiting huckster. Yeah, sorry to say that, but it's true. Now, this is Sean Gale. He's also running for Senate in Pennsylvania. He's calling her out. Listen to this.
At a recent U.S. Senate debate, candidate Sean Gale called out Kathy Barnett for playing the race card on the campaign trail.
And I think it's very disingenuous for Kathy Barnett to pretend that she's not running a campaign purely based on identity politics. I'll prove it this way. There's 7 candidates running for this race. There's 9 running for governor. There's only one candidate that has to put her picture on the sign, and that's Kathy Barnett.
Picture on the sign. They're talking about those yard signs, right? You put them on the lawn and kind of shows you how enthusiastic people are or aren't, depending on how many signs are out there. And he says her picture is on, but nobody else's. Let's take a look. Dr. Oz has no picture. Okay. His rival McCormick, no picture. And let's see, Kathy Barnett. Nope. Mr. Gale, no picture. What about Kathy Barnett? All right, there is a picture. It's not such a big deal in my book. However, listen to why she put her picture on that placard and what she says people should say about her. Listen to this.
Get my yard sign, get my palm card. If you're really hesitant about speaking, get the palm card, pounce on your neighbor, and just hand them the card. And if they say, no, I don't want it, shame them. Really? You don't want to support the first black person? Are you a racist? Say it to them. That's what they say to you. Why do you think I put my little black face on my yard sign?
That's not funny. That kind of mentality is dangerous, and that's what's happening. Because quite frankly, I believe if she were white, she would not be at all competitive in this race. George W. Bush, for all of his faults, called it the bigotry of soft expectations. She has gotten away without answering very basic biographical questions. And here are some that she is very cagey about. Number 1, the name of her hometown. Yeah, she wouldn't put that out. We'll have her partial answer in a moment. Some other basic questions that she's being very evasive about. Where was she an adjunct professor and when? Number 3, when was she in officer candidate school? Oh, her military record is a great big black hole. And number 4, the question is, when did she move from Virginia to Pennsylvania? She says in her book bio from 2018 that she lived in Virginia. So what year did she move to Pennsylvania? All right, so she's competitive now, and people are asking questions. Her answers are weird.
So, my military record. I went in 1990. I came out in 2000. I have honorable discharges. I spent 10 years in, I usually say the military, but under that umbrella would be between the Army Reserve and the National Guard. That's that.
That's that? That's it? That's all you're going to say about your military service? The year you went in? The year you allegedly left? What about what job you had? Where you were based? What did you do? What were your responsibilities? What did you learn? It's suspiciously vague. I was in the military, not for 10 years like Kathy, for 9 years active duty. And I can tell you everything not just when I went in and when I left, the places I lived, Virginia, Florida, Mississippi, Arizona, the places I went, everywhere from the United Arab Emirates, got to fly over Iraq, the Peleliu, the Tarawa, all kinds of things. I could talk for an hour before I say, and that's that. Something's weird, very weird about this. And it gets even weirder.
Kathy, did you go to officer candidate school? There's questions around that.
I was accepted. I always say I was accepted. I went through the rigorous paperwork and vetting and interviews to be accepted into officer candidacy school. And I have always said I did not finish it because I got married. This really cute guy asked me to marry him.
You know, we did lots of things during officer candidate school. We didn't have time to get married and meet our fiancé. Right. This gives you an idea of what that experience is like. But somehow she found the time to get married. She got accepted. She didn't finish some officer candidacy school. Nobody calls it that. It's very strange. Even basic questions about her hometown. Where are you from? She gets evasive and cagey.
What's the name of your hometown?
I grew up in what was called Nichburg. It is now called Repton.
And that's
Alabama.
in Alabama.
Look, I listened to it. I couldn't, Mitchburg. I couldn't find it. I'm not exactly sure what she said. Granted, she's on the phone. If you live in Alabama and you've heard of these places, that's great. I personally have not, but I'll give her that. She's probably from Alabama, but even that seemed a little bit. Now, she claims to be or have been a professor. Do you believe this?
Where were you an adjunct professor and when?
In Justin University.
And where's that, Kathy?
That is in Illinois.
Okay. And when were you there?
I don't remember the time.
Okay.
This is what grifters do. They're vague about their past on purpose. They don't want you to go back there and check around. Maybe it never even happened. We think she said Judson University. Not sure. If it is, it's smaller than most high schools. Doesn't know when she was there. Where is it? Illinois, I think. And what about where is she actually living as an adult? She wrote a book in 2018 about herself, an autobiography. Listen to this.
And when did you move from Virginia to Pennsylvania? You say in your book bio that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I never lived in Virginia. That was a typo, but by the time it was discovered, the book had already been printed. So we've never lived in Virginia. We live here in Pennsylvania this is our 9th year.
It was a typo. The book said, her own book, her autobiography said she lived in Virginia. May I see Virginia, please? It's a pretty straightforward word. Virginia, if they put an S at the end or misspelled it, that would be a typo. She says they should have written Pennsylvania. That's an entirely different word, right? That's not a typo. That's an error in fact, potentially, or perhaps she's just lying. By the way, she's a bit out there when she tweets. Oh, yeah. Now, this is offensive stuff, but we got to go through it. I mean, somebody's got to vet her. Please pray for my babies and me. We are about to board the plane to California, and there's a homosexual female. This is bigotry, folks. This is bigotry. Oh, here she is engaging in some political conversation. No, we have Cruz and Ben Carson. This is back in 2016. I like Trump. He's a riot. But he's nothing more than headlines. Very little substance. Really. Islam, she says, is a theocracy and should be banned in the United States. I disagree with that. Democrats in Pennsylvania will not let her forget it if she is the nominee. This is dangerous stuff. This is un-American. This is weird. And so is she. I'm sorry. And she's tried politics before. In a way, she's an insider, right? I mean, who goes around running for election after election? In 2020, she ran for Congress. She lost by 20 points. That's big. And is Pennsylvania really going to take a chance on that? Is she poised for victory now in a general in Pennsylvania? Let's take a look at Donald Trump's preferred candidate, Dr. Oz. Now, some people say, oh, he's too Hollywood. I'll get to that in a moment. But remember, Donald Trump picked him above all the others.
By the way, I endorsed another person today, Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania. Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz is totally America first. He's a world-class expert. He can open your chest and operate. Oh, but I've heard the complaints. Friends with Oprah. You can't trust anybody who's friends with Oprah, right? How about Donald Trump? We trust Donald Trump? Friends with Oprah? You better believe it. All over the place. He even thought about having Oprah as his running mate. You can look it up. He did. In 2015, he talked about it. All right. They also say, well, Dr. Oz, I heard him say something about abortion once. I'm not sure if he's pro-life. Donald Trump turned out to be the greatest pro-life president this country has ever had. If it weren't for Trump, Roe would not be on the verge of being overturned. But this used to be Donald Trump. He said this. This is not altered. This is real.
Partial birth abortion, the eliminating of abortion in the third trimester. Big issue in Washington. Would President Trump ban partial birth abortion?
Well, look, I'm very pro-choice.
Very pro-choice to the most pro-life president we ever had, the most significant. Roe v. Wade could be gone very soon because of him. And he evolved on the issues. He did. I believe Dr. Oz. I'm not officially endorsing anybody, but I believe him. And the fake news, if Dr. Oz loses to Kathy Barnett, you know what they're going to do? They're going to try to write the political obituary of Donald Trump. This is a big test, and if he loses, he's losing hold. That's how they always play it.
These coming weeks are going to be the biggest test of former President Trump's hold on the Republican Party. I mean, what's happening in Pennsylvania is fascinating. He endorsed Mehmet Oz.
Pennsylvania, now the biggest Trump test yet.
Having Donald Trump's endorsement is helpful. But the real question is, what happens when you take away the scandals? Can he, in fact, put someone over the top who really doesn't have any quote-unquote scandals, but perhaps is a weak candidate? I think next week in Pennsylvania, we're going to get a real test.
The reason I think Pennsylvania is going to be the biggest Trump test yet is because of this resistance to Oz. If Oz does win, that's going to say a lot about the Trump influence.
If Oz wins here, it really is that means that 40% undecided was waiting for the Trump bet.
And they are chomping at the bit. The fake news. They want Oz to lose. They want this Kathy Barnett. Kathy Barnett. Oh, the fake newses and the Democrats' dream. Her or Dr. Oz. Remember, Donald Trump's choice for this is Dr. Oz. And you think about what Donald Trump has done, what he does almost every weekend night. He goes to he goes far away from his home in Florida to campaign in the rain for the good of the country. Quite frankly, I think Republicans in Pennsylvania, I think they owe it to President Trump. I'm sure they'll choose well.